You're listening to Seattle Real Estate Podcast.
Hey everybody, I'm Sean Reynolds from Summit Properties Northwest Reynolds & Klein Appraisal, and your host of this episode of the Seattle Real Estate Podcast. It's July, it's past mid-July, and the streets of Seattle, getting around Seattle is still super easy. A little bit more traffic in the afternoons. I've come back from Seattle, back to the east side here in Bellevue. Typical commutes are usually horrible in Seattle, horrible. And everywhere I go, I keep talking to people and they're like, at least we don't have traffic, which means people aren't going to work. People are working from home. Are people still working from home, or are people just not working? That's what I kind of wonder. I'm going to go with people are working from home and they're not commuting. I know Amazon here is basically just committed through January, going to work from home. And I'm sure Facebook and Expedia and all the other big companies are probably going to push their work from home schedule through early 2021 as well, if not further into 2021, because we're probably going to have Rona 2.0, aren't we, pretty soon? That's going to be a reality. We've got the flu season coming up in not too long. Here in Seattle, we've had like a couple of days of good weather. It's still like I'm looking out the windows right now and it's cloudy. This morning it was rainy. It was warmer because we're July. But for the rest of the country, wherever you might be watching this, you might be thinking, geez, that sounds terrible. It is, because this is summer and we're supposed to have really good weather. That's why you live in the Pacific Northwest for like those 2 months out of the year that you get good weather and you're like, oh, this is great. This is so awesome. So after July the 5th, you're supposed to have good weather this year. No, we've had a couple of days and next week it's supposed to be better. But where was I going with that? Good weather, things are happening. It's summer, commuting, not commuting. Working from home. We're going to be working from home from a long time. See how I worked that through and figured out where I was. Well, one of the things that I saw recently that I thought this is a really good idea. If you have a company or if you're an employee of a company and you need to get out and just get a change of pace, one of the articles I saw was sick of working from a home, work at a hotel instead. That's what today's podcast is going to be on. And this is from CNN Travel. If I can do like CNBC, their business stuff, and then a little CNN Travel, I figure that there isn't quite as much political stuff in there because everything is so politically driven right now. And I wanted to try and stay away from that and go to more stuff that I think everybody can agree on, right? Because let's be honest, Summit Properties Northwest sells homes. We sell to both Republicans and Democrats. Got to kind of level the playing field here a little bit. Leave some of that other stuff behind and let other people argue about that. But let's get into what working from a hotel looks like. And I think it sounds like a super expensive solution to a problem, but I think that some hotels are making this a little bit more affordable and a little bit more available. And so instead of a staycation, I'm going to call this a workcation, because you're used to going to the office. Everybody is like in that mindset of let's go to the office and get our workday done. When I leave there, it's cool. I don't have to think about work. Some people think about work. I think about work because that's just kind of what I do, but I'm self-employed too. So a little different story. The rest of everybody else just kind of leaves their jobs at the office, hopefully, because everybody needs a break from their job. But if you're working from home and you've got a wife or you've got a husband or a boyfriend or a girlfriend, whatever, pets, you got laundry, all kinds of distractions. I know it is a super difficult thing to do to stay at home and just try and keep focused on your workload. Some companies are claiming, our productivity went through the roof. I don't know. Maybe at first it did, but now we're March. We'll throw in the whole month of March, April, May, June, July. We're on month 5 of this and about to go to month 6. It becomes a grind. It's hard to work at home. I've done it for years, and I was out on the road appraising and then I go back home and work. But sitting at a desk at home I think it's a hard thing to do. Even if you have a dedicated office or dedicated bedroom, you kind of feel like you're in a prison because you're at home and you're like, oh, what's going on outside? What's my kid watching on TV? Oh, what should I eat in the fridge? Oh, I just went grocery shopping yesterday. Oh, let's go have that snack. Where's that box of cookies? I think I'm just going to eat that box of cookies. What am I going to make for dinner tonight? All these things, and that you're sitting at your computer going, oh, how am I going to grind through this workday? What music can I have on? What Pandora channel that dates me? All right, what Spotify channel could I do? To get me through my workday, to get me where I'm focused enough and productive enough to actually get something done to justify the amount of money I'm being paid as an employee at home. Because everybody knows, okay, you're working at home, you're not getting as much work done, you're watching cartoons. That's not the case. And I think everybody's kind of gone the other way and have been more productive to kind of prove that people can do it. That's the way I feel anyway. Unless you're just really dishonest, and then you're gonna do basically the 4-hour work week, right? You're gonna cram everything into just a super short period of time, call it good, get paid for your full work week, and I don't know, 4-hour work week, it's a thing. So let's get into this article and just see what options there are out there. If some of you are thinking, hey, let's do this. Now, before I jump in here, I do want to say I understand that working from a hotel is a total luxury. And there's a lot of people out there who are like, yeah, but I can't do that. I can't afford it. My company can't afford it. And I'm like, okay, yeah, but no, hey, maybe this is your splurge. At some point in the month, you just decide, all right, I'm going to go work from a hotel. What does that look like? So that's what we're going to explore here. All right. The kids are clamoring for attention. The laundry needs doing. And what's for dinner again? That's how this article starts off, because that's what I think everybody is thinking is, oh my gosh, how am I going to balance all of this stuff? Did I fold the laundry that's in the dryer? Did I do that? Did I water the lawn? That's what I've been kind of working on lately, is watering the lawn. Ridiculous, because you could just let the lawn grow, and next year it's going to grow back. But who doesn't want to have a nice green lawn? Again, first world problems, right? So many U.S. workers have had no choice but to adapt to working from home in recent months since offices shut down due to the COVID-19 pandemic. All right. Kind of just a blinding glimpse of the obvious there, right? And for many, the lack of structure and boundaries is taking a terrible emotional toll. There's that hook with, oh, this is what we get. Terrible emotional toll. A new option, a way to, if you want to shake up your WFH routine, work from home routine. Work from a hotel. Again, work a WFH, work from hotel. Leisure travel to downtown Los Angeles has sagged during the coronavirus pandemic, but guest rooms at the 94-year-old Hotel Figueroa, I don't know how you pronounce that, are hot commodities as always. These days, however, most guests are locals taking day trips from home so they can work. So you got hotels that most of the people aren't spending the night there. They're just working there during the day. That's kind of wild, isn't it? It is. A special program titled Work Perks aims to reposition some of the hotel's 268 rooms as day use offices. I think that's a cool concept. I think that is a really good use of resources and a way for a business to retool itself, because guess what? All businesses are retooling themselves right now. Real estate included. We've had to do a whole bunch of different things, not necessarily office-wise, but I got to send out emails on, all right, you got one broker out there showing homes with 2 buyers max, and maybe we'll go to 3. I think it was one-on-one at first in phase 1, and then when we went to phase 1.5, nothing happened because phase 1.5 here in Washington was totally made up. It didn't exist, but we had to have something as an interim between phase 1 and phase 2. When we went to phase 2, it's one broker, 2 buyers. That's it. And a bunch of other stuff, social distancing still, got to wear the mask. All businesses are retooling how they do things in the internet age. And so hotels are no exception. And I think this is a really cool option if you still got to work from home and you want a break. These days, however, most guests are locals taking day trips from home so they can work. And we did the work perks. According to Managing Director Connie Wang, the setup launched in June and is a great opportunity for work-at-home warriors to get out of their houses and spend workdays in a clean, quiet, and socially distant spaces that come with high-speed Wi-Fi, unlimited printing privileges, and free parking. So as I'm reading this, I'm kind of thinking, all right, but you've got WeWork and you've got places like you've got WeWork type centers here that are expensive, but they would do the same thing, but they're also, you're not socially distanced, so you're not in your own environment. And that is the big difference, I think, what we're talking about here. Here you can go have your own room, do your own work day, maybe have that whole mental thing. You can go and do a private office at a WeWork, but it's really expensive. And it's also an ongoing commitment versus this hotel deal, which is one day, possibly you throw in a night. All right. And so, and this is the manager talking, they want a calming and relaxing atmosphere away from the distractions of working at home, Wang said, noting that the 350 square foot rooms sell for $129 per day with an option to extend it to an overnight stay for an additional $20. That's a bargain, $149 for 350 square feet. That is a decent sized studio apartment somewhere. And for some people, this has become a real treat. Where was this again? This is San Diego, downtown LA. Okay, so downtown LA, that can be a pretty grungy area. We're not talking about downtown. Well, it could be talking about downtown New York. But downtown LA can be pretty sketchy. Does this make sense? Yeah, 140 whatever bucks. That's a big hotel room. The Fig, as it's known locally, isn't the only traditionally overnight accommodation pivoting towards day use during the pandemic. Across the country, other properties have taken similar leaps. Strategy behind these moves is simple. Hotels will try anything to offset revenues that have dropped as much as 50% since public health-driven shutdowns began in March. As a result, I'm surprised it's not more than a 50% drop. Is that right? Are that many people traveling? As a result, hotels have started a host of new revenue streams at a time when every dollar counts. That is so true. You got to squeeze every dollar out of it. Take the Wythe. It's a boutique hotel in Brooklyn. This week, July 20th, that's this week, the hotel announced a partnership with co-working office space company Industrious, through which it is repurposing 13 second-story guest rooms to serve as offices for up to 4 people. All right, so it sounds like this hotel is partnering with a WeWork-type company to take some of their original guest rooms and make them work rooms. Which is what I just read to you. I'm just kind of working it out loud here. So each of the rooms has a small outdoor terrace, and dogs are welcome. That's really cool for people who love dogs. Pricing starts at $200 and goes up to $275, depending on how many people use the space. The Sawyer in Sacramento, California, is offering pool cabanas for use as outdoor offices, complete with fast Wi-Fi, free parking, and catered lunch for $150 per day. I would totally do that. Pool cabana, I'm down for that. Because going outside would be awesome to work, but you've got that glare and you can't see your computer. I always want to take my computer out on the patio and work out there, but I'm like, yeah, but then I can't see. The whole computer thing doesn't work. Then I start to sweat, and then I just want to go do something else and not work at all. So pool cabana, that's an idea. What about pool cabana with partial AC? Anyway, then there's the 318-room Hamilton Hotel in Washington, D.C. Through its new home away from home office package, the hotel offers guests use of a room until 4 p.m., as well as a bag of breakfast goodies and a Keurig coffee maker with unlimited pods. That's a perk right there. So they just load you up with a bunch of carbs in the morning, keep you going with some caffeine throughout the day, and then at night, you just stumble home, exhausted, caffeined out, sugar crash, and you go do your thing for the rest of the night. You go home and work on that laundry and your dinner and homework for the kids, whatever that is, online homework. They should have been doing that during the day anyway. But at least you haven't been at home all day working in that environment. All right, the price tag is $109 per day, only about $25 less than the overnight rate. If you are stuck at home, you're going to want to take advantage of one of these. Maybe you really can't afford it, but maybe it is your once a month break, something like that. So the Ballantine, a luxury collection hotel in Charlotte, North Carolina, has taken an entirely different approach. Here, Beth Allen, the director of sales and marketing, said the property is offering entire 350 square foot boardrooms for $500 per week. So that is a luxury hotel that is taking that boardroom. That's pretty big. That's a big office space. That is about the size of, that's a small version of a regular office. Maybe you're 1, 2, maybe you could fit 3 guys in there spread out, but that's a big office space. That's $500 per week. So if you wanted to do a team project and you're like, all right, I can't afford this ongoing, have my own office space, but I could do it for a week for this really intense project, that might not be a bad option. And it's a business expense. You write it off. So Allen noted that guests who sign up for these boardrooms have 24-hour access to their space and can order off a special room service menu with lower prices to accommodate frequent buyers. That's a really good concept. All right, people are still trying to get their heads around the fact that businesses won't be able to go back to traditional office spaces for a while, she said. By doing this, we're serving a need in the community and at the same time bringing people in the door so we can expose them to other amenities and perhaps get them to spend money with us in other ways. Maybe you put your boutique store in there. The first gym that I'm at I have memberships to 3 different gyms right now. I only never work really out at one. Well, sometimes I work out at 2 different gyms. If I'm shredding, I'll work out in the morning at a Crunch Fitness, which is like kind of a Planet Fitness by my house because it's super close. I can drive there half asleep, stumble onto a stair mill, do that for 350 calories, and then do another 250 calories on the rowing machine. But I'll go to that gym because it's so close to my house and it's like $12 a month. My main gym in the afternoon is the Bellevue Club here in Bellevue, and it's a really nice gym. It's a hotel and a bunch of restaurants and a bunch of stuff. But it has a boutique store in it and a bunch of restaurants. So a place like that, if they did that kind of day gig, you just get people coming in there, they're going to spend money. I actually worked there for a couple of years when I was really ramping up Summit Properties. My guy, Logan Nishioko, and he kind of started the whole YouTube channel thing here. He's the OG of Summit's original video programs. And we would go there and work in their hotel library and their lobby and atrium area every day. And we would spend money on lunch. Logan bought lunch there every single day. So if you get people into your hotel environment, they're going to spend some money, right? So that's not a bad plan at all. Salvation for cramped New Yorkers. That's the next section we're going to talk about. So perhaps the best value comes from guest room offices at the Intercontinental Times Square, which is located right in the middle of New York City. Here, hotel management has set aside about 20% of its 607 rooms. That's a big hotel, 607 rooms, to be utilized as office space. The 350 square foot rooms are available for $1,000 per week, and they come standard with full-time technical support from PSAV, a global event production company. So for $1,000 a week, you're getting a bunch of other stuff. General Manager Gull, pronounced Ghoul, so General Manager Ghoul Turkmengolu, butchered that name too. Sorry, Turk. Sorry, Ghoul. Butchered both your first and last names. This person said guests get access to the rooms for 24 hours and noted that guests can opt to have the beds removed for additional space. Hey, I'm not going to take your super cheap overnight rate. I'm just going to move the bed out, and I want to work like a madman here. She added that some of the rooms were renovated earlier this year. Just like the Bellevue Club, when they were totally shut down, my main gym, when they were totally shut down, they renovated all the rooms. I think they had this on the schedule and all the stuff they did. And then my other gym, Crunch Fitness, they did all the painting and cleaning, just a ton of cleaning to get things ready for the reopening, which just happened. My third gym, it just kind of does its thing. When we renovated the rooms, we felt overnight guests would be benefiting, this person said, because I'm not going to butcher their name again. Sorry. Now it seems day use guests are benefiting too. That's cool. What's old is new again. It's the next section here. The notion of designating hotel rooms for day use only certainly is nothing new. Yanis Moiti founded an entire company on the concept back in 2015. That company, Hotels by Day, has grown to include more than 1,500 hotels and has seen a significant uptick in the number of inquiries for day use bookings since the pandemic began. This person said the situation will force hotels to reinvent themselves to stay alive, and he predicted that offering rooms for day use only is one of the directions they will go. It makes total sense to me. When you think about it, a hotel is a big box full of space, he said. We hope this trend is a way for hotels to monetize the fact that space is something everybody seems to want right now, and they're looking for spaces they know are safe. And that's where I think the hotel room versus a co-working space, it makes more sense to people because they get their own little dedicated space to go into. They've got their own little bathroom that they're going to use, and they don't have to worry about other people touching their area. That gets cleaned because hotels, gyms, restaurants, everybody is just cleaning the heck out of their environment right now because nobody wants to be blamed for, oh, you had the Rona and you went to where? You went to that restaurant? Oh, not good. And then that restaurant just gets bulldozed because somebody, spread the Rona around. So, of course, this is what drove Danielle Levanis to participate in Hotel Figueroa's Work Perks program last month. Levanis, a drama therapist and trauma-informed life coach in Los Angeles, said she'd been trying to run her businesses out of her 2-bedroom apartment since the pandemic began, but was frustrated by an inability to create work-life balance and obtained some space from her vocal 2-year-old. That's funny, vocal 2-year-old. Means this kid screams a lot. Maybe you've got a vocal 2-year-old. Maybe you've had a vocal 2-year-old. But that is a difficult scenario. One of my friends, Gavin, who lives in Australia, he's got a 3-year-old. His wife is working from home, works from basically, I think, the dining room table. And it's difficult. When you got a kid, you want to let that kid do its own thing. And sometimes when they're beyond toddler, but they're not quite little kid stage yet. I don't even know what you call that, post-toddler. They're loud because they haven't figured out, oh, mom and dad actually have stuff they want to do, and me screaming isn't going to help out their mental state. That doesn't happen. 2, 3, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds, they're so loud and obnoxious, but that's just little kids, right? If you've had kids, that's the drill. While she loves the quietude of a room at the Fig, she also appreciates having a space all her own. The biggest issue I've been having is that I don't feel safe going back to my office space because the building shares a bathroom, and there isn't a procedure for keeping public spaces pandemic level clean. Well, there is, but you just have to clean the heck out of it. Every single time somebody goes into the bathroom, you have to have somebody chasing them down and clean it. It's ridiculous. And I've kind of made this statement since the beginning of professional office space opening back up, that if you followed all the protocol of what the states want you to do, you would get zero work done. You would just be scurrying around getting all the safety protocol done. That's all you do. You wouldn't have time for anything else. No actual work. We just need to keep our office really, really clean. The fact that I was able to work from the hotel room with a private bathroom was key. That's what I think people are looking for, is creating their own little tiny environment and just going in there and feeling a little bit better about their mental state, their life. And they're like, okay, I'm going to come here. I'm going to boot up my computer, and I'm going to make up for the last 2 weeks where I couldn't get my head in a workspace where I could actually be productive and do stuff, because people just aren't used to working from home. It sounds great and it sounds awesome, but unless you are like living by yourself, or you've got just a spouse and no kids, and if you've got like a calm spouse or whatever, girlfriend, significant other, partner, however many other ridiculous categories we now have to say for whatever it is you've got going on. Unless you've got that, life can be difficult. I'm kind of a bigger, louder person. I talk on the phone a lot. I carry on ridiculous conversations, and people around me that have to work at home, that's difficult at best. So, difficult. She added, and this is finishing out, the unpredictable nature of this pandemic has caused unforeseen stress for everyone. Having a space to go to, metaphorically, put my therapist hat on, is really important. And that's what we're talking about. Just being able to maybe identify a place that you go every now and then. Yep, you spend a little bit of money. But for a lot of these places, you're talking under a couple $100 for a full day. If you break that down, if you worked a 10-hour day, You're paying $20 an hour to have some mental therapy, and then you're getting paid on top of that. And maybe you can work out a deal with your employer. Maybe employers out there are working on solutions like this for some of their employees. Hey, we're going to pay half of this hotel room for you to go work in. Or maybe we're going to have you and your coworker can go share this room. I don't know how that works, but it seems like they should be able to, if they take out a bed, they should be able to bring in a couple of desks, right? This article said, you're working with boxes of space, so you can make that happen. Maybe the hotel turns a handful of their rooms into these working spaces, and you get your own bathroom and call up room service. That sounds pretty good to me. Hey, room service, bring me a hamburger, some fries, a large Diet Coke, leave it here, and let me get my work done. So that is all I have for today, but I thought this CNN travel article was pretty good. So check it out, and I'll be doing some more research to see what else is out there. And as these trends kind of continue, I'll keep doing podcasts on them. And one of the reasons I'm doing as many podcasts as I am is because at the beginning of the coronavirus, I realized I can't stay at home. I can't do very little. That's not in my nature. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to podcast every day. Now I'm doing 2 podcasts a day for the most part, because there is so much content out there and there's so much misinformation out there by the media that you should be able to get, some ridiculous guy to come on and talk about nonsense that maybe you find interesting. So if you do find this interesting, love to have you subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for tuning in, and on our podcast platforms, everybody out there that's growing rapidly, and it's because you guys are tuning in. Maybe you're sharing it with friends, family. I don't know. Maybe you're sharing it with people you don't like because you're like, that was terrible. I'm going to send it to this guy. This is his punishment. Anyway, I'm Sean Reynolds from Summit Properties Northwest, Reynolds Client Appraisal. Thanks so much for tuning into this episode of the Seattle Real Estate Podcast. I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now. See you then. Bye. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you'll know when our next video is out.